All right, let's build a bumper. So I'm gonna build a workbench style bumper for the truck. Not really happy with any of the offerings for a single rear wheel work bumper, and so I decided I would design one myself and build it with some of the features that I wanted and some of the specifics that I wanted. So I've got a bunch of plate, I've got some channel, I've got some stuff cut. I'm gonna walk you through the design and we'll start cutting and doing a little fab work today. Let's get into it. So I took some pictures that I found on the internet and started doodling over the top of them, kind of designing what I wanted to do to the truck. And as you can see, that bumper was kind of one of the first things drawn on the back there, that sort of unique shape. And then, I was able to kind of refine it and draw a little bit more of what I was thinking down below. And once I had that, I jumped over to SketchUp, which is really the only CAD software that I know how to use, if you can even call it that, and modeled the truck bed and started building the bumper, figuring out how the plates were going to work, how they're going to interact, the features I wanted. Went through a few revisions of it, as you can see, adding in things like the side step and locating where each marker light and warning light would go, even the fixture holes over on the driver's side of the bumper. From there, I went over to Illustrator and drew up the part so that I could take that part and upload it to my favorite website, Send Cut Send, and get it cut out of some 1/4-inch mild steel. This way I knew that they would both be extremely accurate and identical, meaning both of the ends of the bumpers would literally be the exact same. All right, so this is the side piece for the bumper. I drew this up and I had Send cut this out, a 1/4-inch mild. And I've got two things going on here. So this is the side that'll be up against the body. This is the actual tail end of it. And the idea is that I'll have a plate top, I'll have some angle right in here, and that's basically gonna give me like a groove at the back for pipe, for holding stuff, a little catch tray of sorts. And then I've got these two holes in the middle. This one is a stepping point, so it's basically like a bumper step, right? This hole is actually for a 2-inch hitch receiver. There's one on both sides, and that slides in and is gonna get welded in for any sort of accessories, stuff like that, that I want to attach to the side of the bumper while I'm working. Down here, I've got a couple of my big pieces of steel. This is a piece of 3/8 thick steel plate. It's about 16 inches front to back. It's cut to width, which is around 77 inches. And then I have a piece of 1/4-inch 2x2 angle right here. And so that is what fits into the angle cutout right here at the end of the bumper. This is gonna be my top plate, nice big work surface, and then that groove. So this, at this end, this is the driver's side end of the bumper. You'll notice there's a big cutout here, and that big cutout is for a fixture plate. 5/8 holes, 2 inches on center. This is cut out of 3/8 thick stainless steel and powder coated like basically a wrinkle black, a super tough black. And the idea is that this will ultimately bolt right into this hole and it will give me the fixture table abilities at this end of the bumper. The reason that I opted to have it be an insert is because powder coating inside these holes, you don't have the exact fitment that you want for your fixturing tools. And so for these holes, as they get worn and as the finish wears off, I didn't want them to be mild steel and to rust. That was gonna kill me. So Send cut this beautifully accurately out of 3/8 stainless, gave that powder coat finish, so I'll be able to bolt up through the bumper into this and lock it in. And this powder coat is essentially what the rest of the bumper is gonna get, so it will match perfectly. So I wanna start with getting some of this structural steel cut up and fit up on the back of the truck. Whole thing is gonna get welded together with this gem right here. This is the Lincoln Electric 262. It's a Power MIG 262 MP. It's a multi-process machine, and we're gonna be using MIG and pulse MIG. This is a wonderful machine. It's gonna make some comebacks later on in this build series when we get into the ladder racks, which is aluminum. I've got a push-pull gun for this, so we can MIG weld aluminum. So this is going to be kind of the backbone of the project, getting all the parts fabbed up. Thank you to Lincoln Electric for sending it over. They've been a wonderful partner for me. Great company. If you're looking for a welder, Lincoln Electric is the way to go. Shout out to Champion Tools. Great cutoff wheels. Great sponsor of the shop. Let's get this cut the rest of the way. All right, get this thing over on the bumper. Okay. All right. I'm going to mark these holes underneath so I know where I need to drill for the bolts. All right, Little anchor lube, fire it up. Bolts up. From here I made some reference marks and set about tacking on the ends to the piece of angle, and that would ensure that both ends were on there square and equal to each other. Put it on the truck, made sure it was all level, added in the angle and the top plate. Okay, I've mocked the bumper up here. It's actually bolted to the truck, tacked together enough to get all my spacing correct, get it square, and now I can take it off of the truck and finish building it now that I know that the mounts and everything are good. Okay, I've got this thing flipped over on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and tack up where the top plate meets the angle all the way across for a little bit of support there. And then I'm going to start cutting some of the support braces to attach it to the truck. I'll tell you, this build made me very thankful to have access to a forklift. All right, we've got the Evolution chop saw, cold saw. This thing even has a shadow cut line, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to use this to cut a couple of 9-inch sections for that vertical support. So cool. Nice cut, not hot. I can immediately touch it. All right, here's what we got cooking right now. So I've got these angle brackets that sit on this bottom plate and straddle between the structural angle and the bottom of the top plate. I've got these cut. As you can see, I've got the backside beveled where it meets the inside corner, because that inside corner is radiused, so that allows for that. And I've also ripped down this edge from 3.5 down to a little under 3, about 2 7/8, so that it doesn't stick out farther. And so I'm getting them aligned with the frame rails so that that plate can come off of it, which is this template will be a piece of 1/4-inch plate that will slide in and basically bolt into the structural frame of the hitch receiver. So that's going to add the structure we need for that. Right now I'm just going to get these tacked in place so I can take the bumper back off and start putting some of the other components on. Okay. Okay, so I've got my 1/4-inch plate right here on the bench, and I've got my template so that I can make those brackets for the bumper. I'm gonna cut them out with the circular saw. I'm gonna do a little detail work with the plasma cutter. I'm gonna get those bolted onto the truck, get the bumper slid on top of it, get them tacked in place. Then I'll be able to take the bumper off and finish welding the rest of it out once those final brackets are installed. All right, I've got my additional brackets bolted in. Everything is bolted and tight and clamped. My bumper is square to the body. It's even side to side. It's level. I'm going to go ahead and tack these brackets in place so that I can take this back off the truck and finish this whole welding fabricating process. That's what we're talking about. I want to get like the full look here of what we're going for. There, let's get the vise on there and check the layout for it. Okay, so this piece on the bench right here is, I guess you'd call it like the light plate. I don't really know what you want to call it. It's like the last vertical surface that steps back in on the bumper. And that's where the marker lights and the license plate, etc., are all going to mount. I've got on this one piece here, I have 5 marker lights, 2 strobes, and 1 license plate. So I did the layout for it, got everything where I wanted it, center punched it all, and now I'm going to grab a mag drill and we're going to drill out all the holes, get that angle welded together, get it on the bumper, and then it's just a matter of welding out everything. Got a lot of welding to do once we do this drilling. Thankfully, they have a forklift. The best. The best there is. The boys at Nationwide did an amazing job on this bumper. They sandblasted the entire thing, cleaned it, and then laid down an initial base coat of zinc powder to basically add another layer of rust prevention and rust protection before laying down the Super Grip Black on top. Absolutely beautiful work, and I couldn't really ask for any more in a finish on this bumper. If you need any sort of powder coating work, welding, sandblasting, any of the above, Nationwide Powder Coating in Methuen, Mass is the place to go. All right, it is 8 o'clock at night. I am about to get to the powder coat shop to go see Matt and pick up the bumper because, of course, it's ready and I want to go put it on and drive the truck home tonight. We'll get the bumper picked up, shoot down there, get it bolted on with the lights and everything, and I just couldn't help myself. How could I how could I want to wait? Bumper's back. It's 9:05 at night. We're going to be really quiet and we're going to install the bumper on the truck. Okay, I have hardware. I have all the hardware for the bumper. All right, game on. So first thing I did was get all of the bolt LEDs, the osmium lights, installed, so bolted into the bumper. And then I went about making the wiring harness that would take all 7 of the red marker lights, tie them to each other into a Deutsch connector, and then tying the license plate light in as well. So that definitely took some time getting everything nicely heat shrunk and loomed and attached out of the way. Then I set about getting the fixture plate bolted in. And once that was done, I hung the bumper on the truck and it fell right into place. Everything lined up perfectly. The bolts went in, the vise went on, and here we are. But we got it done. It's on. Everything's wired. It works. The vise is on. Yeah, we'll do some more beauty shots tomorrow during the day, but golly, that's a fine looking piece. Holy cow. Here it is. This is the workbench bumper that I built all back from Powder Coat, installed all the accessories on it, and I am thrilled. It is exactly what I wanted it to be. It's the perfect height, and all the setups are perfect on it for what I need to do. All right, I'm going to give you a little tour of some of the features on it. All right, so right here we got the Wilton 1760 Tradesman vise, one of my favorite vices for daily use that there is. And this was sent out for sandblast, zinc base, and a super tough black powder coat. It's the same powder coat I got on the bumper. This was done by Matt over at Nationwide Powder Coating in Methuen, Mass. Same as the bumper. They're the best. They do amazing work, great turnaround time, and they're just good people. So if you need powder coating, Nationwide Powder Coating, Methuen, Mass. Go ask for Matt. But they did a beautiful job on this vise. 6-inch jaws, a swivel base. It's got an anvil on it. This is bolted right to this 3/8 top plate on the bumper, and it's a perfect fit, so I can use it like this. I can swivel it over, and that'll allow me to hold long pieces, and I think it looks great sitting here on the bumper. So over here is my fixture plate. This is the 3/8 thick stainless steel fixture plate, 5/8 hole, spaced 2 inches on center, and this is an insert. It's bolted to this bumper up through the bottom, and the reason for this being stainless is as I use it and as I kind of beat it up and basically wear that powder coat out of the holes by using the fixtures with it, this is stainless steel so it won't rust. Now let me show you what I mean by fixtures. So I've got a bunch of different clamps we can use with this. Vice grip style clamps, screw style clamps in a few different sizes. So the idea here is if I need to work on a piece of material, I can hold down to the bumper with this. So with these clamps, these just drop straight down. So like if I have this piece of angle, I can go ahead and drop the clamp on it, tighten it down, and now that's held in place. So with the pipe groove here, if I've got something round that I need to work on, like this roller, I can drop it here in this pipe groove, which keeps it from going anywhere, but if I really want to lock it down, I've got these vice grip style ones. I've got these V-pads, magnetic. I can drop that onto the clamp. So I can drop this in, line up my V-pad, clamp it, and that is locked in place. I mean, I'm shaking the whole truck, and that'll let me work on round material on this end of the bumper. And the other thing I added were these 2-inch hitch receivers on both sides. And the way they're oriented, I can put something into it and then reach right in this step hole and put a pin in. So one of the things you can go out and buy are these hitch receiver work platforms. So basically it's like a 12-inch square platform with mounting holes. So you can mount a vise or a bench grinder or something like that. So if I mount that, slide it in here, all of a sudden, off of this bumper, I've got utility for things like a bench grinder or any other tools. I've got a good mount for it without having to actually mount it to the bumper. And so I've got these on both sides, and I think that's just going to be a nice feature when I need to use some tools or equipment like that. Especially if it is a bench grinder, I can mount that right on and then pull the plug right out of the side of the truck for the inverter and run it. So that's a very useful function, I think, when combined with the onboard inverter. And the last thing on this is obviously my marker lights. So I've got 5 back here that are those rear-facing markers, 1 on each end, and then I've got 1 white light right here as a license plate light. They're the same LED bolt lights I used on the rest of the truck. That whole harness has been managed with, I added in little wire clips behind here. So that's tied up all the way back in there. Got a mount for my camera right here and my license plate. This bumper came out perfect. I'm very happy. This is really the icing on the cake on this service truck.